Project Stargate, even in my own experience, like I haven't seen that it's been fully turned off. I've seen that names change, but names change all the time, right? Like Trump started the war against the trade war against China. Biden carried on the trade war against China, right? Even though he said he shut down Trump era policy, he just changed the name. It went from being like Trump's anti-China something to Biden's regime migration something, right? Like the politics changed, but the policy stayed the same.
Sure.
So like you've got to assume and account for the same thing happening.
Read this.
And now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds.
Why did you leave the United States?
I wanted to study the new physics. At first I had to go to Europe. I went to Cambridge to study under Patrick Blackett.
Were you happier there than in America?
Happier? No.
They've done it. Hahn and Strassman in Germany. They split the uranium nucleus.
The world is pivoting in some new direction.
So you embrace the revolution in physics. Can you see it everywhere else?
You're a dilettante, a womanizer, suspected communist, unstable, theatrical.
Algebra's like sheet music. The important thing isn't can you read music, it's can you hear it. Can you hear the music, Robert?
Yes, I can. I can run the Manhattan Project.
How long did he testify?
The whole hearing took a month.
An ordeal.
You can lift the stone without being ready for the snake that's revealed.
I'm starting to see where you got your reputation.
Who'd want to justify their whole life?
You're talking about turning theory into a practical weapon system faster than the Nazis.
Who have a 12-month head start.
18.
How could you possibly know that?
You know isotopes, and you know explosives better than anyone in the world.
But you can't tell us what you're doing.
Why would we go to the middle of nowhere for who knows how long?
It's about unleashing the strong force before the Nazis do.
Why? Why? How about because this is the most important thing that ever happened in the history of the world?
Robert, you're the great improviser, but this you can't do in your head.
Theory will take you only so far.
What do we call the test?
What are you working on?
What happens to stars when they die? Batter my heart.
Do stars die?
Three-person God. Well, if they do, they'd cool, then collapse. In fact, the bigger the star, the more violent its demise. Trinity.
The power you're about to reveal will forever outlive the Nazis. And the world is not prepared.
I don't know if we can be trusted with such a weapon, but I know the Nazis can't. We have no choice.
You sit there, day after day, letting them pick our lives to pieces. Why won't you fight?
When you speak, they hear a prophet. When Strauss speaks, they hear themselves.
They'll listen to a prophet.
A prophet can't be wrong. Not once.
If we don't act now, they're going to use this thing against Japan.
Just because we're building it doesn't mean we get to decide how it's used.
History will judge us, Robert.
It's no longer the enemy who are the greatest threat to mankind. It's our work.
What's the nature of the device they detonated?
Data indicates it may have been a plutonium implosion device.
Like the one you built at Los Alamos.
We're theorists. We imagine a future, and our imaginings horrify us.
60 seconds to detonation.
But how do we justify using this weapon on human beings?
We were in a race against the Nazis.
And now the race is against the Soviets.
You assisted in selecting the target to drop the atomic bomb on Japan, didn't you?
They won't fear it until they understand it. and they won't understand it until they've used it.
The Russians have a bomb. Truman needs to know what's next.
What's next?
Are we saying there's a chance that when we push that button, we destroy the world?
These things are harder than your heart.
7.
Would the Japanese surrender if they knew what was coming?
6.
Detonator charged.
Nuclear war, perhaps all war, becomes unthinkable.
It's happening, isn't it?
When the world learns the terrible secret of Los Alamos,
5.
our work here will ensure a peace mankind has never seen.
4.
Robert, until somebody builds a bigger one.
3, 2, 1.
World will remember this day.
Now it's your turn to deal with the consequences of your achievement.
Dr. Oppenheimer, when did your strong moral convictions develop with respect to the hydrogen bomb?
When it became clear to me that we would tend to use any weapon we had. We bombed an enemy that was essentially defeated.
Amateurs seek the sun, get eaten. Power stays in the shadows.
Is anyone ever going to tell the truth about what's happening here?
We have to make the politicians understand this isn't a new weapon. It's a new world.
Oppenheimer wanted to own the atomic bomb. He wanted to be the man who moved the earth.
I feel that I have blood on my hands.
120,000 dead at least.
The atomic bombings were not the last act of World War II,
Any moral scruples about that?
but the first act of this Cold War with Russia.
Terrible ones.
You think anyone in Hiroshima or Nagasaki gives a shit who built the bomb?
You don't get to commit the sin and then have us all feel sorry for you that it had consequences.
He talks about putting the nuclear genie back in the bottle. Well, I'm here to tell you that I know J. Robert Oppenheimer, and if he could do it all over, he'd do it all the same.
You're an American Prometheus.
He'd do it all over. Why?
The man who gave them the power to destroy themselves. And they'll respect that.
Because it made him the most important man who ever lived.
You could lift the stone without being ready for the snake that's revealed. When I came to you with those calculations, we thought we might start a chain reaction that would destroy the entire world. And now I am become death. I believe we're dead. Destroyer of worlds.